Hello, my name is Micaela Jurala, and today we're going to talk about Lab 2 charge tapes. So this is the agenda. We're going to start with the introduction, then key concepts, then experiment walkthrough, data, coding, and conclusion. So the purpose of this experiment was to understand the idea of charge and create a computational model to understand the interaction between two charges of piece tape. Only this time we're going to use a line of charge instead of using the tape as point charges. This is a preview of my results. We will discuss that a little bit later. And as we know, the tape will be positive because it's going to attract other negatively charged things as their hands, but repel other charged tapes. So this is the key concepts we're going to use. We're going to use Coulomb's law, force of attraction and repulsion. This is the formula. We're going to use electric field, the invisible force field created by attraction and repulsion of electrical charges. This is the formula for that. The force of a charged object, this is the formula, electric field times charge. And then we're going to use gravitational force, which is this formula. And then we're going to use Newton's third law to say that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And also, we're going to discuss charge of a line charge, which is the superposition principle. So this is our experiment walkthrough. For this part, we used this model. So we're going to rip the tape of the base tape, test charge it, and determine excess charge. But for the second part, we used this one, where we used two charged tapes and saw what was the distance here when they repulsed. So our system was our charged tapes, but our surroundings would be everything around it, such as the desk and where the tapes were tested. So after this, we're going to use formulas and data to calculate our gravitational force, which will be the same as electrical force. And then we derive this formula from lecture, which is to calculate Q, big Q. So we're going to say that K is 9 times 10 to the 9th, Newtons times meter squared over Coulomb squared. R is the distance of the tapes, and L is the length of the tapes. So this is the data obtained, and we plug everything into this, and we practically get this number, which is 2.4 times 10 to the negative 10, and the distance we get is 0.058 meters. Okay, so this is the computational model we get. So the white line is going to be the force of electric charge. The green lines are going to be electric field. These two are tape A and B. And this yellow line is going to be our gravitational force. So these are the numbers we get. And as we can see, they're really similar to the ones we calculated. So it's very nice that we predicted this and we're on the right track. So this is the coding we used. This is all data obtained on the lab. This is coding to get our electric charge, which was the white line. This was for the line of charge, the computational model for the line of charge. And then we get, these are the vectors, so like the position tape A and tape B will be at, the electric scale. And this part is very important, is practically all of like our electric fields using superposition. So since we have a lot of little lines of electric field in a line of charge, so superposition is where we assume certain like electric fields will be positioned at. So that's practically what it means. So net electric force and gravitational force, this was that data to computate it. And then we're going to assume that the tapes are going to have the same amount of charge. The tape is going to have evenly distributed charge. A resistance will be neglected, and the tapes will be perpendicular to the force of gravity. So like this, in the y-axis, like this. And so possible errors are human errors, surrounding errors, and like touching the tape too much can cause errors too. And we're going to discuss this question, which is like, why is the models of a single point charge different from the one we calculated now, line charge? As we can see, we calculated these numbers, and we can clearly see they're very different because they're going to have a 114% difference. So why are they different? It's because these estimates differ, for charge, since they account for different amounts of charge For example, lab 1 treats this lab as the charge were a single location, but this lab, we treat it as the length of the tape. So in conclusion, we learned the difference between measuring as a point charge and as a line of charge, and why the estimates differ, and we learned how to compute and calculate the line of charge using our tape experimental model. Thank you.